goal is to not, I'm not trying to be an influencer.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make money off my content. I'm trying to meet people like you and add value to your life. That's it. And so every time I make a post, it's about my 20 plus years of being in business in the trenches. There's a whole lot of more stuff coming out. Did I just say a whole lot of more? Had a Robert Plant moment. Whole lot of love. Anyway, there's a whole lot more stuff coming out this year that's going to be all about my history and my truth. Meaning that it's not that I haven't been true or genuine to date. Basically what I've done to date is tell everybody who I am, not where I came from. So there's going to be a whole lot more where I came from before, and I think it's going to add value and validity to who I am today and how I see the world, and how I think that you can achieve different things from different backgrounds, perspectives, age, gender, and I don't think anybody has any excuses. What would you use your influence to stand behind? Like she does the wine and food and things like that, and the travel and stuff. What would you influence people towards? What would you feel good about somebody paying you to talk about? That's just a curiosity question.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Actually, I'm working on
sales.
I'm working on a book. It's a booklet. It's not a book. The book is so many pages. It's 10 pages long. It's a blueprint.
Yeah.
And it just basically tells you how to simple steps to overcoming objections, build value, build trust, all that. So I'm very excited to bring on board, just to create like some sort of legacy, because I'm all about giving also to the new generation coming, so that we don't have to go through the pain and curve of what I'm going through and learning all that sales techniques. You come out of.
There's a lot to be said about that pain, though. The pain teaches you, right? If you just have everything handed to you in a book, then you're just robotic. You're just going through the motions. I think the pain creates memories, good and bad. And I think it really solidifies who you're going to be as you move through life. So don't take away all the pain with that book.
No, you've experienced he's read, I'm amazed about the amount of his books and mentors that he's had over the past 10, 20 years. And when he talks to me about them, I'm just like, my gosh, I've been to college and I've read thousands of books, but with nothing within sales. And so what he's learned in sales is just, it's extravagant whenever he tries to teach me, because I know nothing about sales.
Yeah. A lot of sales is just an innate gift, It's being able to relate to people, make eye contact, have a conversation, really is all it is. But you have to be comfortable with it, I tell everybody I'm the greatest salesman there ever was, because I sell myself on all my crazy ideas, and then I run with them. But my friends used to tell me you could sell an ashtray to a non-smoker. That's what they used to tell me all the time.
I always tell him he couldn't sell a burger to a vegan. He told me to marry him, so that's something.
Great job. Yeah, that's funny. So I'm curious about this too. Because how old are you?
I'm 33.
33. So young. Oh my gosh. So what is your long-term plan? How far out do you have a plan? I'm just curious.
Yeah. I do write things down. I mean, I have a little book that I just basically write things down with. My mom.
It can be 0. It can be 100 years, whatever.
My mom keeps first of all, I want to definitely make a difference of creating some sort of legacy. And it's hard to help people when you're broke. So that's one of the things that.
I might challenge you on that in a minute, but keep going.
Okay. So I was like, my mom was like, she's like, you should get into real estate as far as investment. And that's one of the things that I want to do is have some sort of investment with other investors where we can leverage income and own a couple properties. If it's apartment complexes where I have to just put a certain amount of money, will be great. I don't have to put all that amount of money because you have other investors that will put it with you. Or as small as owning a duplex, over here, Hunter was telling me, he's like, you
gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere. And but yeah, that's where a long-term goal will be, having that passive income where you can basically have time freedom, because it all boils down to time freedom. You have freedom of doing things you want with people you want as many times you want, and that's what I really want. I was like,
so you've said legacy a couple of times. I like that word. I believe in it. I've got a little video clip I haven't posted yet because I'm waiting for the right time. It was something that was just a moment when we were in Dallas with another guy. Anyway, the legacy. Outside of owning real estate, having money and being successful, What are you going to leave behind?
Exactly. That's
No, what? I mean, like, you should be able to define that.
right.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the book. I want to make sure that.
Yeah, but that's a sales tactic. What do you want to leave behind? Right? Like, that's the question behind the question. Because we can say legacy all day long, but what does that really mean? For me, I know what it is. It's crystal clear to me. And it's a 40-year plan that I'm 10 years into. So, I mean, you see what I'm saying? So I know where I'm headed. You've heard Gary Vee talk about buying the jets, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of his legacy, right? Or his being the best entrepreneur ever there was. This guy that could just make things click and pull all these people along with him. That's right.
Yeah.
So you have to define what that legacy is. It's not investing in real estate. And by the way, investing in real estate with a bunch of investors, nobody makes any money. You have to be the investor.
Okay.
Everybody else needs to go do their own investing. If you have one partner or two, maybe. But if you get 6, 7, 8 partners that buy an apartment complex, I don't care how big it is, nobody makes any money really. You make money on paper from the depreciation of the asset, but you're not going to make a bunch of money. So you got to concentrate on building your wealth to a point to where you can take that money and acquire some real estate. Now, the fact that you're in sales and you're writing a book about sales and you want to be in real estate investing, why the hell aren't you just getting your real estate license and selling real estate?
Just ask that one time.
I mean, you're talking about selling and you're talking about investing in real estate, and you've got this huge gap in between the two of wide open opportunity to go out there and make a really good living in real estate, and you're not capturing it. Have you thought about that?
At one
Now that at that level right now that you're opening my mind to.
I mean, who better to have an opportunity to capture a market than a realtor who has a license and has access to all the data? You're not relying on anybody else. Not to mention, you don't have to go start a solar company. You just go sell a bunch of houses. And that be your... I have a shovel. It's called real estate. And I'm not a realtor. I'm not a broker. I own a real estate company, and I have a lot of agents inside that company, and we have a lot of investments too, but it's taken me 20 plus years to get here, right?
Yeah.
But I can do anything else I want to do because that's my shovel. I don't have to work on a whiskey distilling company to make money at it. I can do that endeavor just so I can put that thing together so everybody that's involved can be brought up. Like you talked about, the manufacturer of the solar panels, that company, all those employees get to punch the clock because I ordered 50 panels last month, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. So I can do anything I want to do. And I've got a long list of stuff that I'm going to do in this long-term plan that's going to be my legacy, that has a lot to do with my kids and my family and that kind of stuff in the community at large. But, you know, you've got the sales je ne sais quoi, you know, the tactics, the face, the look. I mean, it take you like my 19-year-old nephew who goes to A&M came to intern for me this past summer. He got his real estate license in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Now he's a realtor for us in College Station. He's in school, in the Corps out there doing his thing in engineering, whatever, but now he's a real estate agent. He can go through college and play around with that and decide if he ever wants to do it again when he gets to be an adult, or he can just pass, you know, on it and not do anything with it, or he can jump full feet into it and have a totally different career. And he's not a salesperson. He's not like super, hey man, how you doing? Let's go check out this property, right? Like you would be. Now, I will tell you sometimes some agents talk too much and you might have to pull that energy back, but you'd be great at it. It'd take you like 2 months. Cost you about $500.
Yeah, and I told all this, especially in Cynthia family in Puerto Vallarta, we go there quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Properties are so affordable there, and people buy, you know, like condos in Puerto Vallarta like crazy.
Yeah.
Especially Americans.
Yeah, and there's a language barrier because I mean, like,
And he's bilingual.
yeah. So that's the point there. And you're right.
So, what are you waiting for?
Exactly. What are you waiting for, Luis?
Jennifer's like,
I'm telling you.
I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad you did, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, but it's like, you know, and I'm not dogging anything you're doing. I think it's great. I think you're into this and into that, and you've obviously got the skill set to go execute on all these things. But I think you're going over this one thing to get to all these other things that if you would just tap into that one thing, those could all be like side deals that you work on because now you've got the freedom. I mean, my God, you don't have any children.
Yeah.
You could just work all the freaking time, which is what it takes to really make it in real estate, right?
Yeah.
But real estate is like everything. It's land, it's commercial, it's homes, it's $6.2 million condos across the street. Blew my mind. The penthouse across the street at that building. It's like, okay, it still is Austin, right? We're not San Diego.
Yeah.
It's freaking me out. But it's like every facet of real estate that there is. You could try and taste every single one of them. Then you could even go down to Puerto Vallarta and kind of poke your head around and be like, wonder what I could do down here. Then have like a Texas Puerto Vallarta connection, man. You could be the next dawn of real estate in Puerto Vallarta. I don't know, right? The sky's the limit. But it's a simple task. You spend the $500 or $600, the 6 or 8 weeks it takes to get it done. Try it. If you hate it, don't ever renew. It's not a big deal. And then when you get your license, call me because I want you to come work for us. You'd be a natural fit for it. I think it would be a miss if you didn't at least look into it. It's just my advice. Because you said invest in real estate a number of times.
A number of times, yeah. It's just because it's where the passive income is. I mean, it's where...
Well, it's not real passive.
Well,
Everybody throws that word around.
Free, like, it will give you freedom of time. I mean...
No, it doesn't give you free. So...
Yeah.
I hear that a lot from the Grant Cardones and all the other people who are talking about passive income, freedom, all this kind of stuff. It's a different kind of freedom. It's not like sitting around doing nothing. Those guys execute deals all the time. That's just their work. Now they have teams of people that do a lot of the legwork, and all they have to do is go yes, no, yes, but it's still work, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's doing the work, and the guys that are starting out have to do the work themselves. But to have something to say that it's if you have something that is passive income like that or freedom, then you have a team of people that are in place doing that, taking care of business for you. You don't own a hotel and it's passive unless you have management. You don't own an apartment complex and it's passive unless you have a management team. So until you're at the level where the management team is in play and you can give up that piece of the margin in order to have your freedom, you're the management team. It's like any other business. You're the cook, you're the chef, you're the janitor, you do it all until that level builds up and you can hire that first person or you can put that team in place. Because for every property that there's out there that has a manager attached to it, a property management team, which is a whole nother level, a whole nother facet of real estate, for every person that has that management team in place, they're giving up some money. I mean, sometimes it's a lot, you know? So it just depends on what your involvement's going to be. And yes, you can definitely build to that. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that's a good goal, probably an easy goal to get to. But you can have one duplex, one house, and put a management team in place. But you're not going to make $500 or $600 a month. You're going to make $300 a month because they're going to take half of it, you know. So anyway, it's interesting to hear a lot of these guys that do what those larger guys are doing and selling tickets to their shows and stuff like that. It's legit. They started somewhere. It's legit information. I'm not going to knock that. It's just the glass over a lot of things, and everybody latches on to some of those words, and you know, I think it people got to know that it's real freaking work, and it's real hard work. Yeah, until you get to that point to where you've got some assets and they're making you some money. But it's most definitely achievable. Everything is time and hard work. You know, I think. I'm not wired to be a brain surgeon, so no matter how many times a year I study, I probably couldn't be a brain surgeon. I just wouldn't make it, you know. So in some of those extreme situations, I don't think everything is achievable for some, but I think everything is attainable. Like I think you can do it and get around it and work the system and grow. So I would really think about that real estate thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, I'm definitely going to look into that.
And then I would really like you to spend some time with Jennifer here and talk about that long-term plan.
Yeah, we definitely have to. I mean, we have to sit down and really, like, now that you're talking about like that plan, it's like too general. I want to leave a legacy, but I need to dissect it and say, okay, well, what it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
And it's
I mean, like the legacy for one of my colleagues is I want to be able to use my real estate investments to house homeless people and get people rehabilitated off the street and back into society. So he wants to have a certain number of assets, and he wants those to be available to homeless people that are willing to get into these programs to rehabilitate, to grow as a human being, but they have housing in place of it. So he's setting that aside as part of his legacy, right? That's what he wants to leave behind. That's great. And he'll be known for that. So I think you latch on to something like that that's important to you, to the core of who you are, things that might have wounded you over time or injustices that you can't agree with in this world that you've got to fix. That's your legacy, you know. I think if you can tap into that, everything else kind of gets blurred and you just kind of hyper-focus there, and then you always march towards that goal of what it is you're going to leave behind. And it's okay if it changes. It's okay if you get 5 years in and it's like, oh wait, all of a sudden I want to go that way because I'm more concerned about the whales than I was about that homeless guy, or I'm more concerned about recycling because I'm not so concerned about the whales anymore. That's totally fine. It doesn't matter. Just do everything you can do every day to continue towards that legacy type goal, But you've got to be planning that or you'll never get there. Little micro steps along the way. I have a big whiteboard in our office, and every year I come up with a kind of my mindset, my mantra for the year. A couple of years ago, it was eliminate and simplify. Because I had way too many people with way too many systems and way too many things going on that were just like this. And I was going everywhere. So I was like, okay, I need to eliminate and simplify because I can't keep running this race. It's going to kill me. Fast forward a year or two later, it was execute. Just do. Don't think, just go. 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 You have an idea? Do it. Write it down. Execute. Just keep going. Keep going. Beat the drum. And then this most recent one, I usually have a good idea of what I want my year to look like going into the end of the year because I'm planning for this meeting. The third or fourth week of January is when any of my partners and affiliates, we go away to places like this and we just sit down, pen in hand, iPad, computer, and we're like, okay, what's broken in the business? What's fixable? Where are we at financially? How are we going to do better? What can we do? And who do we need to hire? And right? So November, December, I'm already in that mindset. And usually I have a pretty good idea going into the year what this mantra is going to look like. I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. I'm going to spread my love. Here it is. This year I really didn't. I had a couple ideas, but I wasn't really clear on it. And so I started self-reflecting. And instead of looking out here, I looked inside and I was like, okay, what do I need to be better at? What do I need to do to lead these people, to lead my community, to help everybody the more and more that I can? And the one word that popped in my head was results. I need to produce results. I do. At my level, I've got to get results out of them, out of myself, and out of every endeavor. And if something doesn't produce results, it's getting cut away. It's going to get boxed up with a pretty bow and set over on a shelf somewhere because it might not die, but it's going to get put away for a while because it's just taking away from everything else. So I'm demanding results from them, from myself, and that's the standard. And so I think my first post of the year was some quote I put on Twitter about results, and it's the results alone are the measure of your endeavors. You can talk all you want to talk. Doesn't matter. You don't have results to back up what you just said and how you're going to move forward. There's got to be a wake, like a boat going through the water, a wake of results behind you, or you're just kind of tiptoeing on the water across, like a little lizard that runs across the water and never leaves a wake. Yeah. I want to leave a wake, of results behind me. So that's my thing for this year, and I'm telling everybody that because I really feel like, now I believe that we're in a real interesting spot right now. And a lot of people who have been fortunate enough to do what you guys are doing, I think that's got a time limit on it. And I'm not sure how long it's going to last. And I think some people are going to rise up out of it and that'll be kind of the norm for them the entirety of their lives. And I think there'll be a larger segment that's kind of like that's no longer needed and available as a means to an end or a means to an income. I'm not handwriting that on the wall saying I'm a doomsday guy. I'm just saying everything has its run. Everything has a cycle, right? I mean, we'd all still be wearing parachute pants if everything had its way for the long haul. But it's funny, everybody's still wearing Vans, so maybe I had my first pair of Vans when I was 6, so that was 40-something years ago. So they're still chic and hip. But anyway, those are the pieces of information that I want to give to you that are important to me, seeing you where you at and where you guys are at, that if anything that I've said resonates and you check the box and you kind of roll with it, that's my legacy. Do and just do good and have a piece of the American dream and play nice, but play the game of entrepreneurship. Because that word is thrown around way too much. And I think not only him but with me, we listen to Grant Cardone or Gary Vee and other very successful entrepreneurs. We listen to them and not that they dangle a carrot of hope, but you just you're so excited and you keep going and going. But we love meeting people like you who have been in this, who are within our network in Austin or local and can actually, tell us exactly what you've gone through and just give us the truth about it because we can go online and YouTube all we want and listen to those motivational videos, but it's not going to help unless we put it into action. Results. Results.
I love it.
So you can see I'm a never stop thinker too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But I've made a lot of mistakes too. So it's going to be a long road ahead.
Yeah.
But you have a cheerleader right there. I could tell.
Yes, I'm very patient.
She's sitting here in almost, you guys don't recognize it because y'all are too young, but she's sitting here in admiration of your like your tenacity and your passion and all that stuff. She's sitting there and she's not in reverence, but she's like, like that's my man. Like, you know, and sometimes she wants to throat punch you. I know. But right now in this setting, she's like extremely, you know, in a position of admiration and thankfulness that y'all are doing this. So you've got a good cheerleader, and that's the number one thing, because if she was in opposition to this, dude, you just better hang it up and go to work for a grocery store. Nothing. It ain't going to happen, right? But she's on the same page, and that's really hard to come by.
Yeah.
It's really hard to come by.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
Of course she is. This is the effect I have on people. I bring the truth, man.
It is. I've been patient for a long time, but I'm on the same page as him.
Yes, that's good. And she'll continue to be patient as long as you recognize that, and the fact that she's been there through it all. Don't ever take that for granted.
No.
I have done that a few times. And I just roll, you know, sometimes I've made decisions in my past, sorry babe, that I've just rolled right over my wife to make. And some of them I've come out okay on, and some of them, ooh, they were bad, and she's just sitting in the background going, and I'm like, what do you think? And she's like, nothing. And I'm like, you're thinking I told you so. And she's like, you know. So just always that voice of reason that she has, even if she's as passionate as you about some things, take it in. Tell her why you're not going to go that direction if you ultimately choose not to. But always be inclusive in that, and I think that'll take you a long way. So, because she is like all into you. And it's not just that you're handsome. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Burdick.
Of course, man. Of course. What else can I do for you guys?
Well, let me know when your pasta comes out.
Yeah.
And I'll promote it.
We are looking. That's one reason we're in Austin right now. Matter of fact, but anyway.
Well, if you need any help, I know a lot of people in the spirits industry.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, don't think we won't call on you for that too.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's going to come. It is. So I appreciate you guys and following me and checking me out. Pleasure meeting both of you. Y'all want to get some pictures or something
Yeah.
before we go?